Joining us today is Dr. Gary Ying, a longtime family physician, healthcare leader, and community advocate with over 40 years of experience. He served as Chief of Staff at the Windsor Regional Hospital for more than 2 decades and has been deeply involved in healthcare leadership across Ontario. Today, he also chairs the Hospice of Windsor and Essex County. We're excited to dig into his insights on leadership, service, and success.
I think my career is interesting. I'm always in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I did not know how to say no.
Okay.
That's pretty dear to my heart right now because after I worked in the hospital system, and then I became involved with the hospice for the last 6 years, I really think that this is a amazing organization that we have in the community. So it's going to be an exciting time, but you will hear more. But please be prepared to be ready to join us.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cracking the Success Vault. Today, we're joined with Dr. Gary Ying. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to chat with us. I'm really excited to hear a little bit about your story, especially we were just talking about it outside. I think just the whole immigration coming over here, how you did, is a fantastic story. And then you've been involved in healthcare now for 45 years or more. And so I'm really interested to just chat a little bit about kind of where you came from, how you got started in the healthcare industry, and then where we're going to start to see things change here in Windsor-Essex. So let's talk a little bit about that story you were telling me. So you weren't born here. You were born in China.
Yes, correct.
Raised in Hong Kong by your godparents.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about why that was.
Well, this is go back to the old tradition, and also it's a necessity for survival for many of the immigrants. As you know, if you look back at history, not only the Chinese population, the Asian, but other culture, other nationalities have gone through similar experience that I have received.
Yeah.
What happened was in the old days is the grandparents or great-grandparents that came to Canada first to look for opportunity, because they did not have that in their own country.
Okay.
So they learned how to work very hard, like the railway, the laundry, the grocery store, the kitchen kind of work.
Okay.
And then they save enough money and they send the money back to their respective countries and bring over their children.
Okay.
And then their children came over here, and then they did the same thing to bring over their children.
Okay.
So I'm the sort of the third generation in that regard.
Awesome. And yeah, it's interesting to me listening to that story that your grandparents came here first, then your parents, and you were raised for 10 years, roughly, you said, by your godparents, and then you came to Canada, and you didn't even know, you didn't really even know your father until you were about 12, you said.
Yeah, that's correct.
Which is just, for someone like myself who was born here and raised here, it's just crazy to think that that's the experience that many immigrants have. And you talked a little bit about the hard work ethic, and we were chatting about it outside as well. So what made you want to get into healthcare?
Well, there are a number of reasons. One is, when I look at my parents, my grandparents, I was growing up, I realized how hard they work. They basically work about 60 to 80 hours a week. They hardly take any holidays. I'm part of it because I was involved. I help out in the kitchen. I help out cleaning tables, waiting on tables, and then learn to be a bartender and learn about the business. So all those are very hard work. Then the one thing that I sort of very treasure is because my parents, they want me and my brother to succeed. They really don't want me to do that kind of work. They say, there's better profession. Doctor is good, dentistry is good, lawyer is good. So they sort of mentioned that they give me some clues along the way.
Right.
But I really think that they inspire me that, if you have to achieve some kind of a professional status, you have to work for it.
Right.
So which I thought about it, and The other kicker that I can tell you is why I make that decision so quickly. I try to be involved in the Chinese restaurant business. And in the restaurant business, you got to be able to cook to be able to manage a kitchen. Otherwise, you're not going to have a good business. So one summer, actually, I spent a week in the kitchen learning how to cook. After 3 days, I was done. I know I could never be succeed as a chef
Yeah.
or in a restaurant business. So I say, look, let's pursue a different career.
Right. And so was there something specific that made you choose healthcare? So for myself, I got involved in financial services because after learning some concepts and strategies, I just wanted to help my own family. I wanted to help my own parents. I wanted to learn for myself. And even if I didn't succeed in the business, I was hoping to get an education around money that I could take with me. Was there something that sort of triggered you into healthcare versus a lawyer or an engineer or any of that kind of stuff?
Yes, I think that the doctor that I went to when I was young, I was impressed that when I went to see the doctor, I was not feeling well, and he made me better. And the professionalism that he demonstrated really impressed me. I always like to say, if I can make a difference in what I do for other people, that would be the path I choose. And they open up a lot of paths, like, being a lawyer, being an accountant, being a dentist would do that. But I think as a physician, I would have more relationship with the people that I care for.
Right.
It turned out that really, I mean, up until this point, I think that I made the right decision.
Yeah.
I enjoy what I'm doing.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, being able to work and enjoy what you do is almost kind of success in and of itself. I mean, most people don't love what they do. They
Right.
do it because it pays their bills and it provides them a lifestyle. But if you ask them if they're happy, most people wouldn't be happy with their career. They wish they did something else. So when did you become a doctor for the first time? And then let's talk a little bit about that transition from being a doctor for the very first time after school, and then starting to get involved in some of these board of director positions and stuff like that. So when did Gary Ng become a doctor, and when did you start to join some of these boards?
Well, I went to University of Western Ontario for my medical training, and I came back to Windsor to practice in 1978.
Okay.
I think my career is interesting. I'm always in the wrong place at the wrong time, and I did not know how to say no.
Okay.
When I first started practice, actually, my focus was on emergency medicine. I became the chief of the emergency department at the Windsor-Western Hospital Center, which currently is the Hotel 2 Grace Healthcare location
Okay.
on Prince Road. Believe me or not, there was an emergency room there.
Right.
Okay, and 6 months into my practice, what happened was then there was an opening for the chief of the department. Nobody wants to do it at that time, so I was the new guy, and I say, oh yeah, I try it.
Sure.
And that's how I got involved in medical administration and politics.
Okay.
When you became the chief of the department, you serve on the medical advisory committee, which is a committee consisting of all the department chief in the hospital,
Okay.
along with the chief of staff, which oversees the whole committee, and also the senior administrators. So I learned about the administration aspect, the politics of medicine, and also the healthcare system as a whole, because we still have to be funded heavily by the government.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that we have our funding and also able to develop the appropriate programs for the community.
Right.
So that's how I got involved.
So you got pushed into it 6 months after
Out of medical school.
out of medical school, after being working for 6 months. You got
Right.
pushed into being the chief of the medical.
Right.
Wow. That's a big role to take on early on.
Absolutely.
You must have learned a lot of different skills in that role, coming out of university and being pushed into that role with other doctors who have been, practicing for a number of years, I assume, and you being the new kid on the block, what do you think made you do it for so long? I mean,
Yes.
you kind of got pushed into it, but then you chose to stick around. So what do you think kind of kept you around?
It's a very interesting question. Many times I reflect on it over the years. When you're young at that time, right? You came out and you do, you practice medicine. It's very exciting. You want to get involved. You want to get to know your colleagues. So that was my first objective. Working in the emergency room, you work with other specialties. You always call them for advice. You work with them. So I like to learn that way. So that was my initial objective.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got involved, I found that it was quite interesting and also challenging. Because when you are being educated as a physician, we did not have any kind of administrative kind of program. So we came out, all we got is our intuition, our experience about how to deal with people, how to analyze situation, and how to make decision. But as I learned, the public, when they see a doctor, they assume that you're able to manage a lot of issues outside of medicine. So you have that kind of image, and you have to live up to it.
Right.
And that's very difficult, I find it, in retrospect, because when you're not prepared to be administrator, because you have to deal with hospital policy, you got to deal with your colleagues, and you got to deal with government agencies.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to learn.
Right.
Leadership. We don't have any particular program on leadership in medical curriculum.
Right.
So over time, I have to start learning to be a leader, to be somebody that I can sort of manage, and also to develop plans, develop vision. So it took a lot of time to prepare myself to be involved.
Right.
But looking back, I enjoy every minute of it.
Yeah, I think, the thing I love listening to that is most people are never ready for that role, right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter whether you've done a lot of administrative training or no administrative training. When you take on a role like that, or any kind of role of substantial leadership, there's a lot of things that you have to learn, and there's a lot of things that you have to deal with. And it's kind of more of a, trial by fire, because you're never going to be fully prepared, but you still have to kind of jump 2 feet in, right? So what was that like? I mean, so 1978, you said. Mm-hmm. So that's 10 years before I was born. There's probably not a lot of, like you mentioned, there's not a lot of hospital policies. They weren't as strict as they are today. They weren't as developed as they are today. Like, you guys were really starting those types of policies and things like that almost from the get-go. How does it feel to have, part of your legacy be that a lot of these administrative processes and stuff like that are some of the things that you kind of created when you first started?
Like I said, it's a very rewarding kind of experience. You're quite right, Sean. In the 1970s, those are the good old days of medical care in Windsor. In the 70s and the 80s, I will include the both decades, because we have 4 acute care hospitals: Windsor-Western Hospital Center, Grace Salvation Army, Hotel du Grace, and the Metropolitan Hospital. At that time, funding was not an issue from the government. We always receive what we asked for. We develop programs without any kind of barriers. We have plenty of physicians that will work in Windsor. It was the good old days. When you come to the hospital, you stay as long as you want, pretty well. Nobody going to rush you. There's really no wait time in the emergency room. You go to the emergency room, you'll be looked after very quickly. Yeah. And at one time, I think we were the envy of the province. I went to a lot of meetings in Toronto, like sort of networking. And I cannot recall any other community like us with 4 acute care hospital, plus Leamington as well.
Right.
So we have 5 in Essex County. It's a luxury. And then things have changed because of the economy, the funding issue. That's how I visualize how everything changed. And it was very exciting to be part of it.
Right. And so it's interesting that you say that, things like the waiting times, things like cost and government funding and stuff like that. We don't tend to get too political in this podcast, but there's a lot of people, both in Canada and I would probably say even south of the border, they feel like Canada's healthcare system is this amazing thing because it's free, right? It's not free. We pay for it out of our tax dollars. But I wouldn't say that it's this amazing thing because we have these crazy, crazy waits and these long lines that, people can't get help because we just either don't have the support, we don't have the money, we don't have the doctors, we don't have all those things. Do you think that there's a better way to be doing the things that we're doing to make things better?
I do have some thoughts, but in order to rectify the situation, it will take a lot of work,
Right.
a lot of people who are determined to make the change,
Right.
and that will come from our political leaders.
Right.
That's where it stems from.
Right.
That's a huge task. Yes, I think we have the potential to be better, and I think we need to be better because the way the system is now, if you read, doesn't matter which province you are in Canada, the wait time is a big problem in the emergency room across the country. Yeah. People waiting for surgeries, people waiting for imaging like CT scan, MRI. In a country like Canada, we shouldn't be in that position.
Right.
We should be better.
Right. And so you think it's going to stem more from our government making decisions to just make things better?
No, they also have to do that in conjunction with the medical profession.
This is the politics you're talking about. It's not just a matter of them being like, okay, let's give more money. Now it's...
Yeah, they have to listen to the right people, the right advisor, the people who have knowledge of medical, how the healthcare system runs. So it could be administrators, it could be physician leaders or physician organization. Everybody got to be on the same page. Right. Because if you just talk about politics, it's not going to happen because when they elected, any politician elected for a 4-year, 5-year term, most of the time it's a Band-Aid solution. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen that in the past. And I don't want to blame any government party, no. But that's the way it is. Right. Because it's a very complex system. And when it goes downhill or sideways, the only way you can do is throw some money at it and patch it and hope that the next term you'll be better.
Right. Yeah, and that's, unfortunately, it's when you're trying to, I'll say you're trying to steer a big ship, right? You can't just take a 90-degree turn and start going a different direction. It takes a really long time to start turning that ship around. And when the leaders are only in 4-year, 5-year terms, we never really know what's going to happen, right? So I think that's a big problem just anywhere in general, right?
Absolutely.
The world has grown so much that we rely on, government and we rely on programs, but at the same time, the leadership of those programs continually change. And so there is no real steering the ship. It's kind of more of like this S pattern because some people think we go this way and then we go a different direction. And it's never just one real direction with everybody on the same page. So, and I think that's important because I think for an organization to grow, whether it's healthcare, whether it's finance, whether it's an entrepreneur business, whatever, everybody needs to be on the same page. You can't have people pulling in different directions. It's just not going to work, right?
No, absolutely. I think if somewhere down the road we have a group of politicians who are genuinely interested in making our healthcare system by listening to medical profession, people who are in the knows and work together and make a plan, but that would work. Mm-hmm. But it would take a lot of dedication and a lot of effort.
Right. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the boards then. So you also are, is it the chair of the hospice board?
Yes, I'm the board chair.
The board chair?
Right.
And what other boards do you sit on?
Currently, that's the only one right now.
Okay.
In the past, I've been serving on other boards as well.
Okay. And so what made you choose hospice?
Why not? No,
Fair enough.
yeah, no. Is this because in the healthcare system, and I have a broad vision of how things are carried out in the community. I began my practice in 1978, and hospice came to life in 1979. So we are both evolving in the same sort of a pathway.
Right.
And I have seen how all the wonderful work that they have done over the years. I always deal with them from a primary care physician or a hospital administrator. I never get too directly involved. I know they're doing a magnificent job for the community. So when I was retiring from my position as chief of staff at Windsor Regional Hospital, the opportunity came up for me to serve on their board. That was about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And I did not hesitate. I said, yeah, let's get involved and see what I can do to help. Because I think it's time that, I have received so much from the community. It's time to give some back.
Give back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think a lot of successful people have that same thought process, right? If we're stepping back and retiring, maybe we still want to be involved in the community. We don't want to be, working 60 and 70 hours a week doing things, but there's certain things that we'd like to do and stay busy with and still provide some value, right? So, no, I love it. I love the fact, I mean, we, Spectre Financial, my company, we run our golf tournament for hospice to raise money for hospice because my business partner lost both his parents in a short period of time. And that was his experience, his first time experience with hospice. And he talks so highly of everything that they did at hospice for his mom. So yeah, it was pretty much a no-brainer for us to raise money for hospice because I think it's quite the program from what I understand. The last couple days of life and stuff like that are some of the most important, and making them, as comfortable as possible can go a long way for an experience for a family, right? So let's talk a little bit about, I booked this podcast with you actually. And then after the fact, I realized that I had actually met you before, maybe about a year or so, 18 months ago. You were putting on a presentation hosted at Beach Grove to talk about this new upcoming project here in Windsor, which is super exciting for the community. But let's talk a little bit about this new hospital. So what is this hospital going to do for the community here in Windsor-Essex?
Oh, this is going to revolutionize the whole healthcare system for Windsor-Essex County. When you look at the system that we have a lot of deficiency right now. Facility-wise, if you look at the two acute care hospital sites that we have at the OLED campus and also the Metropolitan campus, those facilities are outdated. For example, in the OLED campus, the building is over 100 years old. And Metropolitan is probably pushing to that particular century mark pretty soon. Mm-hmm. So it's not ideal to provide the health care that you would like. The space are not sufficient enough. And also the equipments are outdated as well. And the capacity for patients. Yeah. Now, all that will deter us from recruiting physician with special expertise because they don't want to come to a facility that's run down, ill-equipped, and congested. So that's one thing we need to correct is the facility. But beyond that, there's a huge benefit. With the new facility, we can equip it with the state-of-the-art equipments and technology. And our program will expand. We can attract the brightest of the new graduates.
Right.
And our healthcare system will get a huge boost, and the care is going to be better. Less of us will have to travel outside of Windsor-Essex to other community, to other teaching center. We can aspire to be a teaching center, so to speak, quote unquote. But it will take some time, but we have to start somewhere.
Right.
Without that vision, without that process, we are stuck.
Right.
We are stuck and we will fall backward. And I'm not sure that's what we want. I don't think we want that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anybody really wants that. I mean, I know that the new hospital comes with a big budget, a big bill and all that stuff, but at the same time it's going to provide a lot of value to the community as well. And so you said earlier that Windsor used to have 5 acute hospitals.
Windsor has
4
and
plus
limited-
Leamington.
Yeah.
And now we only have 2
We
plus
have two-
Leamington?
Yeah, we have 2 acute care sites. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
At Lens Avenue and Olet campus.
And so once the new hospital is built, because they're supposed to be breaking ground in 2026, I believe.
Yes, it's happening soon.
What's going to happen to the other 2 campuses?
The Olet campus will remain as we're going to have an urgent care kind of model, urgent care center.
Okay.
With some outpatient surgery. The dialysis unit is still going to be there. Some outpatient surgical procedure will be done there, along with the pharmacy and also diagnostic imaging. Okay. So the downtown area, nearby area are going to be well served. Anybody that needs admission after evaluation at the urgent care area will be transported to the main hospital for admission.
Okay. And what are they going to be doing with Met?
That will be returned to the city.
Okay. And then do we know what the city's going to do with the building?
Not sure at this point, but
No
I'm
idea.
sure that there will be a consultation and plans on that.
Okay. And so how big will the new hospital be compared to Met?
The new hospital?
Yeah.
Well, the new hospital going to be at County Road 42 and Concession 9.
Yeah.
It's near the airport. It's a 60-acre, so a lot more room than the 2 sites combined.
Okay.
Going to have more beds, more flexibility to expand. Like, for example, when we went through a COVID crisis the last few years, the pandemic, with this site, you can expand the structure quite easily.
Okay.
Whereas before we are locked jam.
Right.
And also the facility is going to be amazing. Right. I mean, I don't have to tell you, when this is done, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be the best there is.
New state of the art.
Has to be.
Equipment, everything.
We deserve it. I think when we live in Windsor-Essex, it's something that we are deserving.
Right. Okay. And so, let's talk a little bit about then, healthcare and where you see it going. I mean, how, what can the people of Windsor-Essex, hope to gain by having this hospital be built once it's built? It's going to take some time, obviously. But it's going to just provide better care, better wait times, et cetera, for everybody. Is there an issue that because it's a little bit farther outside of the city, do we know any of that kind of stuff about what people are talking about when it comes to the hospital itself?
See, right now, I think most people believe that a new hospital will provide better care, and that has to be the reason.
Right.
Right. Why do you want to build a new hospital if your care is not going to be elevated?
Right.
It will be because of the facility, the high technology, and also the recruitment of other specialty physician. We will be able to provide better care, more comprehensive care, and more sort of efficient and more productive in the way they do things. For example, if you have the latest diagnostic machine like MRI or CT scan. They can provide better images, and they can do it quicker. So the wait time for those procedures will be less.
Right.
Right now, it's a long wait line. And when you have more physicians coming to our community, the wait time to see a specialist, the wait time in the emergency room is going to reduce. By having a center of excellence like that, other profession will come by, like the nurses, the paramedic healthcare system. Everything's going to improve.
Right.
And then when we have the human resources issue addressed, it will help everybody.
Right. So let's talk a little bit then about like what do you think makes a good healthcare provider? I mean, you've been doing this business now for 45 years. What do you think makes a good doctor versus not a good doctor? What do you think makes, a good provider versus, someone who maybe just thinks transactionally? What kind of things have you seen over the course of time that makes a doctor a good doctor?
It's very hard to say and pass judgment on colleagues, but I think always say quote unquote a good doctor is the one who is committed to their profession, to whatever they do, because they believe that they can make a difference in terms of healthcare and to help people. And I think that's basically is our mandate. Now, how much effort you put into it, that's different, right? Because like some would put more than others, and some will go the extra step above and beyond.
Right.
Those are what I call is a very exemplary, dedicated physician. Not only that, they will help the system by being a leader, by developing innovative plan, programs, and also work with the government to bring in new technology. So all that is something that I would say, we need physicians like those, more of those, to be a leader, to be a really compassionate kind of individuals.
Right.
And I'm hoping that we can attract that class of physician to our community.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I would agree with that. I think that healthcare and being a good physician, I think it's one of those things that, most people want their physician to care. They want their physician to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that do you think those are things that people learn in school? Or you think those things that they're taught, like your father taught you hard work? Or you think those are qualities that are taught? Or do you think that they just, naturally have them? Those are just qualities that people naturally have.
I think to have the natural instinct is possible, but rare. I know a lot of people have a lot of very gifted, but I think if you want to be a so-called a competent, caring physician, you have to work at it. You have to. You have to listen. You have to learn, and you have to be able to navigate a system, and you got to be able to resolve differences, and also to lead. So you have to learn develop those kind of skills. Yeah. It just doesn't happen because you're born with the talent.
Right. Yeah, I would agree. And what do you think the healthcare system is doing with all this like new AI technology and stuff like that? I was talking to somebody the other day, and they mentioned that I think their child was sick, and it was kind of late at night, and they put in some symptoms and things like that through ChatGPT and all that jazz, and it basically spit out a thing that if this fever or if this thing didn't break for a couple days, then you could take them to ER. Where in the past we would just say, I think we need to take our kids to the hospital because they don't seem to be getting better. Do you think that this AI wave of of being able to, put signs, symptoms, things like that into a system like ChatGPT or others is going to help? Do you think it's going to hurt? Do you think people are going to get medical advice from, a computer system when they really should be talking to a physician? I mean, this is kind of, AI is going to help a lot of different things, but when it comes to healthcare, do you think that in your experience, can it do the job of a physician? Can it do some of the job of a physician?
That's a very, very interesting and also very relevant topic. Yes, I do believe the AI has a place in medicine. In short, I think that they can assist not only the patients, but they assist the profession as well too. Because they can, give you a lot of option. They can make things very efficient, easier to comprehend. So for the patients and their family, it's helpful. But I'm not sure whether you can rely on it 100%.
Right.
If you have a significant illness, I would talk to the healthcare provider along with the information you get from the AI.
Right.
Even as a physician, when we use those kind of information, we still need to examine the patient, talk to the patient, and make sure that we're not missing anything. Being a family physician, we usually have a good history of the patient that we look after, their past history, and a lot of things that the AI might not have.
Right.
But that is something that we can rely on. Like in the new hospital, when I mentioned about technology, I think the AI and also robotics will also be part of that new development, right? Because you're going to have the latest and everything available so that you can provide the optimum care that you can.
Right. Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those situations of like kind of garbage in, garbage out, right? Sitting at home, not feeling well, you might use certain words to put into the AI software, but in reality, that's not really, the word you should be using to describe the pain you're feeling. And based on that, it's going to tell you a different thing. So, I know a lot of people are like, ChatGPT says I should just wait a few days. And you're like, okay, well, like this just seems a little more severe than waiting a couple days. I mean, you definitely want to, with health, you definitely want to be on top of it. A couple days can make or break, what is going on health-wise, right? So, well, let's talk a little bit about what is next for yourself. So, are you still practicing?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm still in full-time family practice.
Full-time?
Right.
Okay. Any signs of retiring, or you just love it that much that you're just going to keep doing it?
Right now, I am not in a winding down mode at all.
Okay.
I enjoy what I'm doing. I've been doing this now for 47 years. So I hope I should do at least 50 or more.
Right.
But a lot depending on my health.
Okay.
Right now, I'm in reasonable shape. So I hope that I can continue with that.
Yeah. And so how do you manage a full-time family practice in your older years? Are you only seeing certain patients? Are you accepting new patients?
Right now, I don't accept any new patients.
Okay.
I would accept patients from within my practice.
Okay.
Because the patient leave from my practice. So what I do is like the patient's family, if they have a newborn, if they have a brother or sister that come to Windsor,
Yeah.
I would take them on because that's part of the family spirit.
Right. Okay. And are you doing a lot of training with new up-and-coming physicians? I don't really know how the industry works itself, but I believe that a lot of family physicians can take on residents, I believe, and train sort of the next generation. Is that something you do a lot of?
No, that's not. I'm not getting involved in that aspect.
Okay.
But you're right. A lot of physicians they basically work with the Schulich School of Medicine. They apply to be a teacher, professor. So yes, that's happening in the community.
Okay. You just don't, you're not sharing your knowledge in that capacity.
Well, the one reason was because being the chief of the hospital for a number of years, I just did not have the extra time to teach
Mm,
because I was working as I put in a lot of hours as chief of staff, and then I got my full-time practice to look after.
right.
So I was working long hours.
Right.
So I wouldn't be in any shape to teach anybody at that time.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, the chief of staff part is still astounding to me. I mean, 6 months out of university and taking over a position like that.
Oh,
It's
if I correct that, when I took over was a department, one
right.
department,
Okay.
and then it graduated to another department, and then I became chief of staff in 1995. That's when we have
Got it.
that's when we have the 4 hospital merged into 2.
Okay.
So when Windsor-Western Hospital merged with Metropolitan Hospital, I became the chief of staff. There was an opening there,
Right.
and I was asked to do it temporarily. Knowing me, I said, yeah, temporarily.
Sure.
And then 25 years later, I was still doing them.
Yeah, I get that. You know, my business partner was asked to be the president of the Windsor Transportation Club, you know, because there wasn't, a ton of members. And then, 9 years later, he's still doing it, and he
Right.
didn't expect to do it for that long. I think people just, you get into it, you enjoy it, you enjoy making a difference, you enjoy, solving problems and helping other physicians, other chief of staffs, solve problems. And so do you have children?
Yes, I do.
Are your children following their father in the footsteps of healthcare?
None of them are.
None of them are.
I have one who's a psychologist and one
Okay.
is a pharmacist.
Okay.
Probably the work schedule that I had that sort of turned them off.
Sure. All the time, 24/7.
Right, right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, is there anything that you want to chat a little bit more about? Is there something about the hospital that we didn't touch on?
Yes, if I can maybe touch on hospice to begin with.
Okay.
That's pretty dear to my heart right now because after I worked in the hospice system and then I became involved with the hospice for the last 6 years, I really think that, this is a amazing organization that we have in the community. The fact that, Sean, you and your partner support it among many other people across the community is unbelievable. When you see an organization, we're not that big. It's sort of a medium-sized organization, can provide care to 500 patients in our residence, like in the Empress address, and also in Leamington, plus over I think 1,200 patients at home.
Wow.
That's an annually
It's a lot.
along the 500. Plus, we have outpatient resources for the patient and family for counseling and spiritual care, with the volunteers of over 500 and 90,000 hours of volunteer time per year last year.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
It's amazing.
That's why I want to share that with the community that they have done an amazing job.
Yeah.
With the limited funding. The government doesn't fund everything. That's why the hospital has to be out in the community doing fundraising to improve the quality, not the quality, to improve the ability to serve our community.
Right.
And they have done this over 46 years. It's amazing.
Yeah.
We are probably the first one in North America, and we set a very high standard. And we continue to upgrade that. And we truly appreciate all the support that we have. There are a lot of supporters in the community that I have to thank you, really. Yeah. They make it happen. And the dedicated staff and organization is just amazing what they've done because they are caring, they're compassionate, and they're also very competent at what they do.
Yeah. Yeah, I can 100% get behind all of that. I mean, the experiences that, I mean, I haven't personally experienced hospice. Jason did. He talks highly of it. But anytime that we've gone over to present our check, I mean, we have some amazing conversations with the people there. All of the volunteers that come out to our golf tournament to help us raise the money for them. It's fantastic. The support at hospice is like second to none. So I can definitely second that. And is there anything on the hospital that you want to touch on?
Yes, I think this is a golden opportunity for the community to be involved. When I said before, we have four acute care hospital, and everything is so smoothly. There's no worry, basically no worry medicine. And then we're down to two acute care hospital in 1995. And then 6.5 years ago, we're down to one acute care, but two sites. Because of the pressure of finance, the economy, the politics, we're at a point that if we don't get a new hospital, get a new healthcare system, we're going to be stuck in not in neutral, we're going to be falling back behind. And I think we as the citizens of Windsor-Essex, we deserve something better. A new acute care hospital will transform the whole system, make it a much better system, reduce wait time, more efficiency, and better quality, and also we expand the program. You see, right now, when you look at the programs that we offer, we're pretty close to most of the teaching centers. You look at what London has to offer and look at what we have to offer, we're gradually catching up. There might be areas where we don't do transplant surgery. We don't have the amount of research that's done in academic center. I think those are the two areas that we might not be on an even par. But everything else, look at critical care, look at stroke program, cardiac program, pediatric, women's program, men's program. We're in very good shape. And we also, right now, we can elevate that kind of the care. So I think it's important that we all, as a community, get behind this project. Next year is going to be very exciting. My understanding is the phase one, breaking ground to build the learning educational center along with the administrative building, and the parking facility will begin soon. And then hopefully after that, the ministry can make the announcement to proceed with the rest of the construction. So it's going to be an exciting time, but you will hear more, but please be prepared to be ready to join us.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. I mean, Jason and I are really excited. We're hosting an event October of 2026 to help raise money for the Windsor Regional Hospital as well as the Kidney Foundation. So we're excited about that event. We're just reaching out to the community members now. We're just trying to do our part is really what we're trying to do.
We truly appreciate that, Sean, really. Is supporter like you that it really makes the healthcare system that much better down the road.
Right. Yeah, I appreciate that. Jay and I are just trying to do our part. We're trying to give back. I mean, the community's done a lot for us. Our business is growing. So the only thing we can do is give back, and we can only do so much. But, the hospital, after hearing your talk about what the hospital's going to do at Beech Grove there last year, just kind of, Jason and I just decided that it was, time to sort of try to make it an event that we could do and help raise money for it. So we're hoping the event will be a success. It's going to be really fun. It's a charity poker tournament hosted at Caesars. So there's lots of information to come. So hopefully we can get a lot of the healthcare providers and stuff like that involved in it, because it is going to benefit, I think, everybody in the community. So,
no, absolutely. It takes a whole total team effort to make this happen. We cannot sort of haphazard to get this project done. Yeah. It's got to be done the proper way.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Anything else you want to add today? We're running out of time, so
No, I'm really appreciate the
Good.
opportunity, Sean, to be here to talk about healthcare.
Yeah.
And I think that the one more thing that I like to say, when you mentioned about the AI getting advice,
Yeah.
I would like to remind the community that even though you get information from the AI, you really should try to reach out to your family physician or your nurse practitioner, because the way I understand the system, we usually have somebody on call after hours.
Okay.
I mean, in my practice, after 5 o'clock, I usually have somebody on call for me or myself be on call. So we are available a phone call away. So don't just rely on the artificial sort of information,
Right.
but talk to a physician. Because when we talk to patients on the phone, the way they sound, the way they breathe, that will give we gain a lot of information from that.
Yeah.
If they really short of breath, they're not comfortable, we can make better recommendations.
Absolutely. That's the one thing that I think AI doesn't do for any business, right? Is it doesn't take into consideration the physical attributes of what am I seeing, what am I hearing, what am I feeling. It just takes information that we type into it, right? So I 100% agree with you. I think throughout my life, whenever I'm injured or sick or whatever, I always follow the doctor's orders. Even if I feel better, I'm like, well, I'm gonna keep taking the medication or whatever. They said to do it for 7 days, but I feel better after 4. But let's just keep taking it. I'm a big believer that if there's a need to talk to a doctor and you feel there's a need to talk to a doctor, then go talk to a doctor. I've used AI a couple times, but I've always called my after hours physician or urgent care if needed. Because health is one of those things where you definitely want the expert. You don't just want AI helping you do it. So, well, Dr. Gary Ying, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to chat with us a little bit about healthcare, a little bit about your time growing up here in the Windsor-Essex area, about all the amazing things we have going on, and the new hospital and all that. It was great to chat, and hopefully we'll be able to chat a little bit later, and maybe we'll even see you at the poker tournament. Who knows?
Sean, appreciate the opportunity to be here. And thank you so much for your support for the healthcare system.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you very much. Guys, that's it for another episode of Cracking the Success Vault. Thanks for listening to the conversation here with Dr. Gary Ying. Until next time, as always, you can find us on all of the streaming channels. Your Apple Podcasts, your Spotifys, your YouTubes. You know where to find us. Go check us out.